learners, and welcome back to the session on Tribes of Meghalaya. This is from BSW 044. I, Professor Nembiakkim, is your course coordinator. Now, before we begin, I would like to give you a short recap of what we did. In the previous session, we learned in detail about the Khasi tribe as well as the Jaintia tribes in Meghalaya. We discussed the brief history of Jaintia kingdom, the land tenure system, religion and inheritance practice amongst the Jaintia as well as their religion and the practice of divorce amongst the others. Now we will go ahead and look at the Garo tribes. Now before I begin, I would like to take you into a small history about the Garo tribe. The vibrant and viral ethnic people who reside in the Garo hills are known as the Garos. The Garos call themselves Achik Mande. Now in the Garo language, Achik means hills and Mande means people. So Achik Mande means the hill people. In the prehistoric times, there was a great influx to Burma through Assam from western China via Tibet. Perhaps the ancestors of Garos were in that conglomeration. Then, in about 400 AD or still earlier, they had to leave the Irrawaddy and Chinwin valleys in Burma for Assam, being driven out by some stronger tribes. Now, perhaps during the course of the journey from Burma to Assam, the Garos picked up some of the customs and practices of the tribes residing there, like headhunting and the practice of tethering an ox with a Y-shaped pole before sacrifice. Now, headhunting practice were also found among the Garos. This headhunting practice is also found among different tribal groups in the different northeast state. Now, Garos bear more resemblance to the Kacharis and the Nagas who descended from the great Bodo race which migrated from western China via Tibet to Burma. If 100 words are picked up at random from the Kachari language and Garo vocabulary, 50% of the words will be found identical. In appearance too, both the tribes shows undistinguishable similarities. There is a good deal of resemblance of the Garo language with the language of the Tibetans. The language of the Garos is simple and there are no articles and no gender distinction in nouns denoting inanimate objects. Like the Tibetans, the Garo revere the gong. They also attach great value to the yak's tail. In fact, the Garos have their own word for the yak, which is machik or tibot ni machu, that is tibot cow. Hence, it is generally believed that the Garos are actually Tibeto-Burmese. Now, let us go and understand the land system among the Garo. The lands in Garo hills consist of revenue areas and non-revenue areas. The revenue areas are the plain areas of Garo hills and the non-revenue areas are the king lands of Garo hills. The revenue areas of plain areas are directly under the management and administration of district council in matters of settlement of land to any of the individuals for cultivation, etc. The hill areas of Garo hills are the A king lands which belongs to the A king Nokma, that is the headman of particular clan. The entire A king lands are managed by the A king Nokma, who is the guardian and custodian of a particular clan or motherhood. The district council do not have direct control over the A king lands. A king lands belong to the particular motherhood whose head is a female. The ultimate worship or the ultimate ownership lies with the motherhood which exercises its control through her husband. The A king Nokma, being a mere custodian and guardian of A king lands, cannot take any arbitrary decision in matters of sale, mortgage, gift, transfers, etc. There are different kinds of A king lands in Garo hills such as A Milliam, A Jikse, A Jama, etc. All these different kinds of lands held by particular Machongs cannot exercise the power over their own acquired lands as the entire property belongs to the wife or female. The Kras or male elder members of the family play an important role in shaping their future and welfare. Now let us look at the social structure. The Garo society is divided into three major clans or kachis. Example, Marak, Sangma and Momin. The kachis are exogamous. Marriage within the clan is forbidden and severely punishable. Some subclans have now branched off from the original clans and are developing into independent exogamous clans. In these new Kachis, mention must be made of Awais living in the northeastern hills, Abang who form the most important group and live in the western side, and Agongs occupying Someshwari Valley in the vicinity of Siju. Each of the Kachis or clans is further subdivided into a member of lineages called Machongs. These are the subclans. Now these Machongs are the basic units in the Garo social structure and are named usually after animals, rivers, caves, etc. A Garo belongs to his particular Machong as soon as he is born. The dominant Machong in a village selects its Nokma or the headman. Nok in Garo means house, while Ma stands for mother. Though the headman is a male, they call him Nokma. This shows the importance the Garo attaches to the women. It is the women who inherit property of a Garo Machong. Theoretically, the land belongs to the Nokma or the village headman, but actually he is the manager of his wife's property. He cannot dispose or mortgage the land of his wife without consent of his wife's Machong. Almost all the land except narrow strips of plain land in the Garo hills is Aking land, that is clan land. The clan allots land to the Nokma, which is managed by the Nokma. In the Garo hills, there are the Nokmas who, with the help of Lashkars, administered the village community. Lashkars are appointed by the Nokmas. Land belongs to the Nokmas, but only in name. Anyone can cultivate any land as per the sanction of the Nokmas. The Nokmas have, however, to obtain permission of his wife's Machong. Now, after having read about the land system, let us go and understand the religious belief. Almost all the Garos are now Christians. Before that, the religion of the Garos was a mixture of pantheism and Hinduism. The poetic verses, stories in folklore, which are sung or recited by the priests, elders, and other Garos on various occasions, contain in them the sources and roots of their religious beliefs and instincts. Chanting to celebrate the building of a house all reflect the animistic religions of the Garos, who believe in a multitude of benevolent and malevolent spirit. By benevolent spirit, we mean the good spirit, and malevolent spirit, we indicate the bad spirit. Now, the Garos have great reverence for ancestors and the deceased, but no worship is done, though they look for their incarnation after a period of sojourn at spirit land. In all religious ceremonies, sacrifices were essential for the propitiation of the spirits. They have to be invoked for births, marriages, deaths, illness, besides for the good crops and welfare of the community and for protection from destructions and dangers. Inheritance. Now let us look at the inheritance practice among the Garos. Among the Garos, only a daughter can inherit the property. In the Garo society, selection of the heiress or Nokna depends on the wishes of the parents. The parents choose the best daughter, who is usually, though not always, the youngest one. In case of any differences between the spouse, the opinion of the wife prevails because the Garo society is basically matrilineal. Generally, the youngest daughter is selected, Nokna, because usually she is more attached, dutiful, obedient to the parents, and more likely to survive the other daughters because she is the youngest. However, in case the youngest daughter is not surviving or for any other reason, the parents can select any other daughter, but only one. Property is never shared, and it is retained always with the Machong. Property once owned in motherhood cannot pass out of it. A woman's children are all of her Machong, and since property may never pass out of it, if a son marries another clan woman and his children would be their mothers, the daughter must therefore inherit and her daughters after her. And in the case of no children, to another woman of the clan duly appointed by its members. After marriage, the son-in-law lives in his wife's parents' house and becomes the Nokron, or representative of his father-in-law. During the lifetime, a woman's husband can fully use her property with complete authority, but cannot will it away. However, matriarchy in the strictest sense of the word is not part of Garo law. The woman simply acts as a vehicle for inheritance of property from generation to generation. Although a man cannot inherit property, his machong has the right to control what his wife brings him. In the event of death, he may choose a male member of his clan, a nokrom, to present him, who is not an heir but is a channel through which the husband's motherhood maintains control over the wife's property. Sometimes the nokrom is the son of the man's sister and is expected to marry his uncle's daughter. Now, talking about marriage, let us move ahead and see what is the family system all about. Birth is a matter of joy not only to the family but also to the community. Elaborate celebrations are customary. Naming ceremony is usually observed on the day of birth itself. Till death, the newborn baby belongs to the mother's family, irrespective of sex, even after marriage. Lineage is always matrilineal, like the Khasis and the Jaintias. Except among the Nayars in Kerala, this system is not found anywhere in the country. It is unique among the Meghalayans. Now, marriage within the clan, as already stated, is completely banned and severely punishable. The Garos do not abhor free mixing. Marriage is, however, arranged with the formal sanction of the parents. Usually, the girl proposes to the boy. Then, the girl and the boy report to their respective parents. If both the parties agree, the marriage is then arranged. Naturally, the question of dowry does not arise. Betrothal and marriage do not have much religious significance in Garo society and entail no sacrificial offerings or unusual religious symbols as are prevalent in birth and death. The priest only consults omens to ascertain whether the couple will be happy and prosperous. Like other hill tribe, there is adoption system among the Garos. Parents can adopt a boy or a girl, not necessary for inheritance. Divorce is easily obtainable with mutual consent. The community does not object in case of mutual consent, but it is accepted only on payment of a penalty to the community. In case of adultery, however, mutual consent is not necessary. Now, mutual consent is not also required in case of infertility. Divorce is permitted when the husband and wife mutually consent to separate, when either one is guilty of adultery, or when either one of them refuse to work for the household. The separation case is heard by village elders and actual divorce takes place in a ceremony called Blokskidena, held in front of an assembly of villages. Husband and wife pick up handfuls of dust and swear by main, the earth, to have no dealings with and to claim nothing from each other. After the oath, the priest takes a sword or chopper or spear, strikes a tree with the weapon and call upon it as a son of the earth to stand witness. The weapon used belongs to the man and becomes the property of the priest. Death of a person is not only a loss to the family, but it is also mourned by the entire community. Elaborate rituals are held. Before embracing Christianity, they used to cremate the dead body in presence of all relations of the deceased. Nowadays, according to Christian practice, the body is buried. Cremation or burial expenses are borne by the relatives of the female clan. Wooden kimas resembling the body of the dead is placed in front of the house in memory of the deceased. Now let us look at the houses the Garos built. The Garos live in houses built on piles, usually on a steep incline. The floor covering is a layer of rough bamboo matting. The roof is usually thickly thatched with grass or with bamboo leaves. The houses are generally long and narrow with no side windows. The house has three principal parts, the first one being called the nokra and holds the pestle dry firewood stacks. 2 or 3 steps lead to the main living room known as the nogangchi, And the last room, Nokdring or Dun, is a master bedroom. The bachelor's house called Nokpante, which is found in every village, are very big and built on such higher platforms which necessitate climbing notched logs of wood serving as staircases. Garo houses are usually very sparsely furnished. Utensils usually consist of cooking pots, larger vessels for brewing liquor, and the pestle and mortar for rice husking. Cooking pots are earthen. Fresh plantain leaves serve as plates and are replenished daily. A single large cane leaf called rejak is used to ward off the rain. Now, having talked about the kitchen and the house, let us look at the food the Garos consume. The Garos have no inhibitions about food. They are a true carnivorous. They will eat almost any animal for meat, usually raising goats, pigs, fowl and ducks in the village and buying cattle from the plains people. They are the only division of the Bodos who eat beef and other wild animals, except the tiger. Snakes, lizards and even small white ants with wings are not unwelcome. A favorite food item is dried fish, nakam, some of which they prepare themselves and some procured from plains. Gran, a dried version of beef, is considered a delicacy. Garos eat quite a few vegetables and many edible roots and creepers from the forest. Bamboo shoots are considered a delicacy and eaten boiled as a vegetable or used for special dishes. Garos grow chilies and eat a great deal of them. They use salt but not fat for cooking. Garos eat frugally, 3 meals a day. But all feasts are sumptuous affairs with lots of food and drink. In all religious ceremonies, the Garos eat, drink and dance to the accompaniment of music by buffalo horn, singas, bamboo flutes, drums, gongs and cymbals. Guest sits in rows, servers with basket move around dispensing tempting morsel. They are followed by the liquor bearer who carry bek or pongsim, a kind of god holding liquor to wash down the food. Garos drink only brewed liquor, never distilled. Now, liquor making is a duty of women of a Garo household. Now, talking about the women, let us look at the dress. Original Garo dress is quite primitive. Men wear a strip of blue cotton cloth, women with red lines down the front, between the legs and tucked into the folds in the back and sometimes hanging in a little apron in front, decorated at the fringes with white conch or the shell beads. The head covering or turban is usually blue or white cloth. For important occasions, it is made of red Assamese silk with ornamented fringes. The pagri never covers the top of the head but is worn around the head from the eyebrows upward. In winter, a cotton cloth or blanket thrown around the shoulders completes the man's attire. Garo women fashion a petticoat, like wrap around the waist using a piece of cloth about 18 inches wide. The numbers could vary. 2 strings of the same material fasten it at the top, leaving a slit open on the thigh. This garment is called a raking. On the shoulders, Garo women wear a shawl of blue and white cotton. In modern times, however, Western style clothing has become common among the Garos. On all festive occasions, the Garos, irrespective of sex, wear headdresses with rows of beads stuck with feather or hornbill. Males and females both wear bangles and earrings. During festive or other occasions such as dancing, Garo women wear marang jasku, a dress made of dyed Assamese silk which seems to acquire value with age. It is draped around the body, passing under the right arm and tied in a knot on the left shoulder. Now, the usual petticoat is underneath. During dance ceremonies, men sometimes wear the pandra, a black cloth reaching to the waist, worn around the body, under the arms and laced across with white cotton. Now let us look at the traditional ornaments. Garo men wear 2 kinds of brass rings in their ears. The first in the lobe of the ear, thin brass wire hoops, sometimes 30 to 40 in each ear. Now, in the upper part of the ear, they wear a small plain brass ring, sometimes embellished with the small plain brass dices and a string of beads which end in semicircular pieces of brass, silver or crystal. Silver bangles are also worn, though they may be external influences. Some very heavy brass ornaments are worn on the wrist during festival. Necklaces grace men and women and are usually long barrel-shaped beads of cornelian or red glass. A rare ornament is the codicil, a band of cloth covered with brass studs and worn around the forehead. Women, like their men, wear brass rings in their ear, but of much larger size, ranging from 2 to 4 inches in diameter. These heavy shishas are worn sometimes up to 50 a year, which distend the earlobes and finally split them. The sanki are a kind of waistband comprising several strands of special cylinder-shaped beads. Now, during dancing, women also wear headbands like the men and a curious head ornament, the pilne or salchok maldong, which is a bamboo comb with a white bead ornamented indigo-dyed cloth stripe attached to the top. The comb is stuck in the hair knot and the cloth hangs down behind. Now, talking about the dances and the dresses, it is pertinent that we understand about the musical instrument. Like the dance forms, the musical instruments of the Garos are simple. A few drums, wind instruments of bamboo on horn, metal gong and cymbals all are manufactured or crafted at home. The types of drums used by the Garos are the dama, the kram, the nadik and the nagl. Now let us look at the occupation. First and foremost, the Garo is a farmer. He loves to till the soil and watch his crops grow. Agriculture is the principal occupation. Trading is restricted to bartering his produce in the marketplace. Now, in currency though, some do trade in their favorite white beads, daos or choppers, sword, clothes, timber and bamboo. Industry includes blacksmithing and weaving. Every housewife has a rough loom. Now, the Garos, like the Khasis and the Jaintias, also play games. The Garos have few traditional games and they have several trials of strength which are performed by the youths of the Nokpante in a Garo village. Among games practiced by Garos, the most important are the Wapong Kala, I hope I've pronounced it correctly, a kind of cockfighting in which contestants sit opposite each other on the ground, grasping a short piece of bamboo and proceed to try and tug the other off the ground. The Gogripa or Chagripa is a wrestling match fought on the lines of a bear fight. The Su is a large round bean and is a poor imitation of marbles. The Jakol Kala is a kind of rounders, the homes being small round holes. No ball is used and participants race from one home to another while others try to intercept them. Now let us look at the festival. The Wangala or the 100 Drum Festival is the most important festival. It is the last but not the least of the ceremonies of the agricultural year. This is a harvest festival held in honor of Saljang, the sun god of fertility. The festival marks the end of a period of toil in the fields, bringing a good yield of crops. It is a thanksgiving ceremony. For days the people relax and rejoice. The hills and valleys resound with a distinctive beat of drums. The atmosphere is charged with cheers everywhere. Now, before I end the session, let us sum up the session about the tribes of Meghalaya. The session has provided an account of the tribes of Meghalaya, their names, their manners and customs, their religious beliefs, their origin, their land system, their matrilineal system and their social life. The coming of the Welsh missionaries brought about significant changes in their value system, beliefs, speech, etiquettes, food habits, lifestyle and most importantly in the field of health, education and economic condition. With this, I end my session on the tribes of Meghalaya. I hope you all had a nice time. Thank you.